All right, so the removal of British forts, victories over Indians, and trade with New Orleans encouraged settlers to move west. So the removal of the British forts in the west, the victories over the natives, and trade with New Orleans encouraged settlers to move west. Now, Washington left office in 1796, which sets a precedent of 2 terms, and it showed that Washington would not be a monarch. When he came to power, there was a lot of worry that he would turn into a king. By him leaving after 2 terms, he sets that precedent. There is no rule up to FDR, but he sets that precedent. Now, John Adams defeats Thomas Jefferson in 1796, and because of the rules at the time, Jefferson, who came in second, was the vice president. So John Adams wins the presidential election of 1796, Jefferson's the VP. Here's more on good old John Adams. Very interesting character. And even more on John Adams. Now, after the U.S. signs the Jay Treaty, of course, the British mortal enemy, the French, so the British mortal enemy, the French, became offended, so they start seizing U.S. ships. So after the Jay Treaty signed, the French become offended, and they start seizing U.S. ships. The U.S. tries to negotiate, but they were offered humiliating terms in what's called the XYZ affair. So the U.S. tried to negotiate with the French, but they were offered crappy terms in what's called the XYZ affair. And here's some more about the XYZ affair. Now, in 1798, Congress agrees to expand the Army and the Navy with unpopular taxes after the failure to negotiate with the French. They thought there might be a war with the French. So in 1798, Congress agrees to expand the Army and the Navy with unpopular taxes after their failure to negotiate with the French. Also in 1798, Congress passes the Alien and Sedition Act. They wanted to end the discontent in the colonies, or in the states. So in 1798, Congress passes the Alien and Sedition Act, and it was an attempt to end the discontent in the country. Basically, the act allows the government to deport any immigrant who criticizes the government. This is kind of against the Constitution. So 1798 Alien and Sedition Act allows the government to deport any immigrant who criticizes the Constitution. And to know more about the Alien and Sedition Acts, there you go. And wait, there's more. You can actually read it. Now, the act was met with serious opposition. Kentucky and Virginia actually declared this act unconstitutional. So the act was met with serious opposition, and Kentucky and Virginia, they actually declare this act unconstitutional. So sensing the anger, Adams sends new delegates to France and suspends the Army's expansion. But really the damage is done here. People hate John Adams. And Jefferson's going to win the election of 1800, and it signals the first transfer of power between parties. So with all these problems, people hate John Adams. Jefferson wins the election of 1800, and it signals the end, or the first time power transfers between political parties. And if you want to know more about the election of 1800, there you go. But wait, there's more.